Hello, 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 hello. My name is Claire. Welcome to my channel, Cool Claire ASMR. So, for today's video, I will be sharing with you some of my favorite art supplies as well as some drawings I have made with said art supplies so you get a good idea of just how I use them. Okay. This video was a recommendation from a subscriber, so thank you. But I will warn you that I use very similar art supplies for a lot of my stuff, so if it seems a little repetitive, it's because it is. Alright, let's get into it. So, let's get started with my most used art supply, which is these dual tip artist markers, and it has a brush and a fine tip, and the brand is Studio Series. And I got these markers at a local art museum gift shop of all places, but I got these because I was looking for a comparable marker to the Copic markers, which if you are familiar with those, you know that they are very expensive. So opposed to paying $8 for one marker, you can pay $20 for 24. So here, get a good look at the colors. And here's the one that was missing. Okay. But I am going to pull this one right back out because I'm going to show you what the markers look like. So, like I said, they have two tips to them. One is the brush tip, and the other is the fine. So, the fine tip is just kind of this small, delicate tip used for like detailing or coloring in a smaller area. And the brush tip is bigger and used for coloring a larger area. See, like this. And I do have some of the expensive and fancy Copic markers here, and they are all festive for the holiday season, it looks like, with the red and green. But as you can see, they also have the fine and brush tip, but the fine tip is kind of like angled on this one, and the brush tip is like that, so pretty similar. And if you're curious if these markers actually have any noticeable quality difference in comparison to the others, they do, but it's not like so much that you need to spend all your money on these, because the other ones work just fine. But I would say that these markers don't bleed as much, and they're also, the brush tip is softer, so it's easier to use, and it's easier to, get more detailed images because it doesn't bleed. So that would be my one noticeable difference between the two. As you can see here, I have a lot of different varieties of the Copics, and I got these on like super discount because they're like a different kind. They're the Copic Chow and these jewel tones. I'm trying to see what the difference is for the Chow, but I think it's just the way the brush tip is. And then I have the Copic Skin Tone Pack, which I got this for Christmas last year. You can see all the fancy like anti-theft stuff on it. They mean business. So, as promised, I will show you a drawing. So here is a recent drawing that I drew this year, and it is of this humanoid looking thing smoking a cigarette, and the smoke is in the shape of someone else's head, maybe the implication of a past lover. And as you can see, they're noticeably upset, so upset that their eyes are melting. They're past tears. And if you watched literally my first ever ASMR video, I show some of my art in that, and you will see how the themes in those works carry into the ones that we are seeing today. But for this drawing, I almost entirely used both the Copic markers and the Studio Series ones. I think the only other supplies I used was, of course, pen for the line work, and then for these diamonds here, I did use colored pencil. Let you get a close look of that. Alright. So, like I said, it's going to be a little repetitive, but I have another marker. But this one is different. Instead of an ink base marker, it is a paint marker, a Posca marker. And these were super popular on artist TikTok for a while, so if you're on TikTok, you might have seen people going crazy for these. A lot of people were using them to design like watches, like smartwatch bands. And I'll show you all the ones I have here. So we have a lot of different colors, and some still have the plastic on them, so I definitely need to find a good use for these. So we'll look back at this individual one here. So as you can see, it has a very like rounded tip with the paint, and the difference between like the alcohol base like this and a paint marker is this is paint, and it's much thicker, and if you try to use it on paper, it's gonna, you know, make the paper disintegrate a little bit, while the alcohol based ones work well on sketchbook paper. So I did use these in my sketchbook to make this cute little jack-o'-lantern drawing, but I don't know if you can tell where it's kind of like broken down the paper a little bit, and that definitely makes it harder to get fine details, but I did use the markers for everything. I didn't use any pens, so the line work is much thicker. And I just got some Halloween stickers on there. But Mr. Jack-o'-lantern is making an appearance just as spooky season has ended. Got a twisty little vine here. Alrighty. Next up, I have my colored pencils. Now, these colored pencils are like my gateway into taking drawing a little more seriously. They are those nice Prismacolor colored pencils. And when it comes to colored pencils, I would say spring for the expensive ones if you're going to seriously use these, because the lead on these is just so much softer and easier to blend than like a Crayola colored pencil. Oh my god, it makes such a difference. So I definitely suggest spending a little extra money on these if you're interested in using colored pencil for your art. Okay. And these are, I don't know, for Berethin 753, maybe that's the color number. I'm trying to remember what kind these are, but I left the package long ago and put them in my little ceramic. And like I said, or maybe I didn't say, but I did use those Prismacolors to do the diamonds here because they blend a lot nicer and aren't going to bleed out of this small detail, so that's why I opted for the colored pencil. But let me show you another drawing that I also made with the markers, and it is this one. Again, smoking. Don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke. It's just cool to draw. So in this one, this clearly dead woman is smoking, and you can see her skull appear through the smoke, and here's her spinal cord down here. But we're going to come back to her in a second, because I'm going to show you these Sharpie pens that I use for finer coloring details. So these are Sharpie brand. Oh, also fun fact, before I got into the nicer art markers, I would use Sharpies to color. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I discovered decent art supplies. But these are great. I like these. Nothing wrong with Sharpie brand. I mean, like I said, you gotta start somewhere. These package opens like that, and then it's just your basic rainbow colors. And I probably use the red one the most because I use it for like the bloodshot eye details in my drawings. But it's a very, very, very fine tip, as you can see. And I just, like I said, like to use this for all the little details, just to polish off the drawing and really add that extra oomph to it. So back to our friend here. I used this red Sharpie fine tip for this nice frayed ribbon detail, as well as all of this like bloodshot eyes, like I said, and you know, the busted capillaries in her neck. But I did use the marker to blend the hair, and you know, you can use the blending marker to get your desired look. And this drawing was actually inspired by a tattoo I saw on Instagram that had the same like lady smoking, and you could see her skull, so that's why it kind of has that very like American traditional tattoo vibe to it with the like 20s little hair. I don't know, 20s. another one for spooky season. So those are all my most frequently used supplies, but I do have a few fun things to show you that I hope to use in the future very soon, that I found in the course of gathering what I wanted to show in this video. So I do have these mini canvases. Aren't they so, they're so adorable. And it comes in a pack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you can see, I obviously have not used them yet, but I was thinking it could be cute to do like a little painting for my friends. And I don't have my paints out here with me, but I just use very basic like Artist Loft brand from Michaels. But I don't paint very often, so I didn't really want to include that in the haul. But if you're curious, watch my pumpkin painting video because I do show the paints that I have. Alright. And last but not least, I have this bag of stamps. And I also have a ink pad with this kind of turquoise color that matches my walls almost. Does it say what the color is? No. Studio G. But these are just mini stamps that have the alphabet on them. And I plan to use these for my collage. I think it would be very cool to kind of like write out a phrase or a song lyric on top of the magazine clippings I use for my collages, because I think it'll stand out nicely, but I need to get some different colors of ink for sure. But let's see how this sounds. It's like little footsteps. Alrighty. Thank you so much for joining me. That is everything I want to show you for today. So have a good day, good day, good day.